They thought she was weak. They thought she was too quiet, too fragile, too invisible to fight back. But what happened in that hallway, what happened when one bully pushed too far, silenced the entire school forever. And by the time the teacher ran in, it was already too late. Maya was the kind of student who could walk down a crowded hallway and not a single person would notice her. Her dark hair often covered her face, and her soft voice never carried across a room. She wasn't dumb, far from it. In fact, she had grades that placed her at the top of the class. But popularity, friends, confidence, those things seemed reserved for others, not for her. Every day at Westbrook High, Maya faced the same thing: snickers, whispers, and cruel jokes that followed her like a shadow. The bullies had given her a name, Silent Mouse. It didn't matter that she never hurt anyone. To them, she was easy prey, and that made her a target. Among the worst was Ethan, the star athlete. He lived for the attention, the laughs, and the cruel games he played with anyone who seemed weaker than him. And Maya. She was his favorite. He would trip her in the cafeteria, knock books out of her arms, or throw paper at her in class when the teacher wasn't looking. To him, it was harmless fun. To Maya, it was humiliation that cut deeper every day. But what no one knew, what Maya had never told anyone, was that she was not as helpless as she seemed. For years, her father, a former martial arts instructor, had taught her judo as a way to build confidence and defend herself if she ever needed it. She never wanted to use it. She prayed she'd never be forced into a fight. But deep down, a storm was building inside her. And one day, that storm broke. It was after second period math. The hallway was packed, the air thick with chatter and slamming lockers. Maya was quietly trying to make her way through when Ethan and his group blocked her path. "Hey, Silent Mouse," Ethan sneered, towering over her. "What's the matter? Forgot how to talk again?" His friends laughed, egging him on. Maya kept her eyes on the floor. "Please, just let me go." But Ethan wasn't done. With one swift motion, he slapped her across the face. The sound echoed down the hallway, silencing everyone nearby. Gasps filled the air. Students froze, their eyes wide with shock. For Maya, the world stopped spinning. Her cheek burned, her hands trembled, but not from fear. From something else. Something she had held back for far too long. And that's when she looked up. For the first time, she met Ethan's eyes, not with fear, but with fire. Time slowed. The hallway seemed to blur around Maya. She didn't think, her body simply reacted. The years of quiet training, the countless nights of practicing throws in her father's small garage, all came flooding back in a single instinctive motion. When Ethan shoved her shoulder, she seized his wrist with lightning speed. A twist, a pull, and before he knew it, his body was yanked off balance. The laughter from his friends turned into horrified gasps as Maya spun, trapping his arm. One move, one precise calculation, and then... snap. The sound of his elbow popping echoed like thunder. Ethan collapsed to the floor, screaming in pain, clutching his arm. The hallway erupted in chaos, students shouting, phones whipping out to record, and friends backing away in shock. For Maya, her breathing was steady. Her face was calm. She hadn't done it out of rage or cruelty. She had defended herself. She had proven, in that single moment, that she was not the weak, silent mouse they thought she was. She was a storm disguised as silence. By the time the teacher sprinted down the hallway, Ethan was curled on the ground, crying out in agony. His gang of friends stood frozen, too afraid to even speak. The teacher rushed to him, demanding to know what had happened, but everyone had already seen the truth. Everyone knew who the real victim had been. For the first time in years, Maya stood tall. Her classmates stared at her, not with ridicule, not with mockery, but with awe. The quiet girl had broken the chains of fear in the loudest way possible. But it wasn't just about snapping Ethan's elbow. It was about shattering the label they had forced on her. No longer invisible. No longer powerless. That day, Maya taught the entire school a lesson they would never forget: the quietest people often carry the loudest strength. And as she walked away, her cheek still stinging but her heart stronger than ever, the crowd parted like waves. Silence followed her. Not out of mockery, but out of respect.